Have you ever thought about the faces and buildings on our currency? Let's look at the $100 bill. This, of course, is a picture of Benjamin Franklin. If you look next to him, right light, you'll see a very small depiction of the Liberty Bell. Let's look at the back. This building on the back of the $100 bill is Independence Hall. But it wasn't known as Independence Hall when it was built in Philadelphia in 1732. It was known as the Pennsylvania State House during the time that Benjamin Franklin, John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, and many others lived and worked to help get our great country started. Here's what it looks like today. As a matter of fact, if you could turn around and look behind the person taking the photograph, you would see the Liberty Bell in the window of the visitor center of what our National Park Service calls Independence National Historical Park. Independence Hall is known as the birthplace of America. It was in the Assembly Hall where independence was declared in 1776 and where the Constitution was debated and signed in 1787. In this famous painting called Declaration of Independence, painted by John Trumbull in 1818, you will see Mr. Trumbull's interpretation of what happened in the Assembly Hall on June 28, 1776. This is not the signing of the Declaration of Independence, but a depiction of when the first draft of the document was presented to the Second Continental Congress. If you were to compare this painting with the actual Assembly Hall in the Pennsylvania State House, you would notice that there are many details that are different. This might be a fun activity for you if you visit in person. It would be a worthwhile visit if you could see it in person because you would get to see for yourself where it all started. One of the artifacts that you might find interesting on your visit is the Rising Sun chair. Here's the rising sun right there. It was in this very chair that George Washington sat as he presided over the Constitutional Convention in 1787. Here's what Benjamin Franklin said about the chair. Painters had found it difficult to distinguish in their art a rising from a setting sun. I have often in the course of the session, and the vicissitudes of my hopes and fears as to its issue, looked at that behind the president without being able to tell whether it was rising or setting. But now at length I have the happiness to know that it is a rising and not a setting sun. While there, you might want to visit Franklin Court, which is the site where Benjamin Franklin's original home once stood. Independence National Historical Park is open most days of the year. You will need to buy a ticket to tour Independence Hall, but no ticket is required to view the Liberty Bell. Remember, when viewing historical places and historical artifacts, look, but don't touch. We want to preserve history for future generations. See you soon.